Hello students, hello children. Today in this video of mine, I'm going to talk to you about effective communication skills. Effective communication skills are the skills which everybody should have to communicate effectively. Now, what is effective communication? Communication is expression of your thoughts and feelings to some other person of your family or society member or your friend. Most of the time, the generation gap, the so-called generation gap, and the differences between two persons, they arise because we lack effective communication skills. And in your age, it is all the more important because you have to convey your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas to your elders in an effective manner so that it is understood by them as per your feeling. So that requires effective communication skills. Now, take yourself to some situations. For example, you have completed your 10th with a very good percentage of yours, having above 95 percentage, but you want to take arts in 11th because you have dreamt about some careers, some jobs which you can pursue by taking arts stream, humanities, and your parents and your teachers want you to take science because what they feel is that all good students they take science and you should also take science. Second situation, you are going out for a party with your friends and you want to tell your parents that you will be late, and if you are a girl then parents won't agree. So, how to convey them, how to effectively communicate, how to make them understand your point of view. Effective communication is required. Then, suppose third situation, you are having a very good friend of yours in the class, but because of his physique or maybe some other reasons, the other students make fun of him and you don't want to be part of that gang. So, how will you say firm no to this habit? So, these are the situations, and all these situations they require effective communication skills. Now, communication, what is communication? Communication is expressing your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas to other people in your family and in society. And one of the major component of communication is listening. What we always thought, what we have thought, and what we always think that communication is only about talking, but it's not that. So, communication is more about listening because until and unless we will listen to the ideas, to the feelings, to the thoughts of the other person, we will not be able to communicate properly. Communicate, Communication is not a one-way traffic, it's a two-way traffic where you have to understand about the feeling and thoughts of the other person with whom are you communicating. So, listening is very, very important for effective communication. Now, active listening is an important attribute of effective communication. The listener must pay attention to all that is said without interrupting the speaker and afterwards should react relevantly. The tips which help us to be a good listener are stop talking. We should not talk when a person is speaking. We should we may miss the message when we are talking in between, and we have to be sure to stop talking when others are speaking. We have to listen to them carefully and we have to show the speaker that we are interested in hearing them. We are interested in hearing their ideas, their point of view, their feeling about that matter for which we are discussing. And for that, we have to give them verbal and non-verbal clues also. Like when you are listening, you can say, oh my God, I see. Oh, that was the thing. So this is the verbal clues by which you can give the speaker thinking that yes, you are listening to him or her very carefully. Then there are non-verbal things also which you can do, but like nodding your head, doing giving the expressions. So these are the non-verbal cues which you can give to the speaker while he or she is speaking to you. Then you have to remove all the distractions. Suppose there is a TV or radio going on loud in the background, you have to turn off that radio or TV. And you have to avoid things like flipping through the newspapers, doodling, playing with your pen, or looking here and there, because all these distractions give the impression to the speaker that you are not interested in his or her ideas, feelings, and thoughts. So you have to be careful about that. And then you have to ask questions as well. When you are listening and you are properly, carefully listening, then you may ask, would you repeat the last sentence, please? Or I missed the last thing you said. So this is how you can develop the interest. Then at the end, when the speaker has completed talking, then you can summarize the things which you have listened and which you have understood, so that there should not be any misunderstanding or any miscommunication between you two. So this was about listening. The second important thing which one should have for effective communication is non-verbal communication. We always feel that communication is only what we are talking. No, it is not. Communication is more what we are listening, and all the more what we are conveying non-verbally with by our body language. Suppose we are smiling, that gives the nod, that gives the assurance to the other person that yes, you are liking his ideas or her ideas. You are frowning, that gives the aggressiveness, that gives the non-approval of their ideas from you. And then you have to your the gesture of your body, the body posture, the touch, the distance between the persons, all these body languages can be easily read by the other person, but at the same time they are easy to misinterpret also. So if you think that maybe because of some body language of yours the other person has misinterpreted you, then you should clear the things between you, that no, I didn't mean this. So non-verbal communication, your body language also plays a very important role in effective communication. Now we will see what are the different styles of communication. See, when we are communicating, we can communicate in three different ways. One is passive lifestyle, for passive style of communication. Now, what is this passive communication? In this, you are disrespectful to yourself. That means you don't respect yourself, and you respect the ideas and feelings and thoughts of the other person. You undervalue your own personal needs. You undervalue your desires. You undervalue your feelings, your knowledge. You always place others in first. You always place others' thoughts and feelings and emotions first before your emotions. So, at the expense of your emotions, you are putting the emotion of the other person first, and you always think yes, that whatever other person is saying is right for me, and I have to follow that. You remain inactive in situation where personal rights, needs, and feelings, they are always, your personal feelings, needs are always ignored, and yielding always to the pressure against one's wishes. You don't want something, but still you will feel the pressure against that wish, and you will succumb to the other person's ideas. You suffer silently, blaming oneself for negative things in life. You think that whatever wrong is being going on in my life is because of my own negative things. Then listening only to others, you will listen only to others. You will hesitate to express your feeling. You will hesitate to give your ideas, your feeling, your point of view to the other person. So this type of style of communication is called passive communication, which is not good at all. The another style of communication is aggressive communication. Now this communication is all the more bad, because in this communication you are disrespectful to others. You think that other person is always wrong, I'm always right, and whatever I feel, whatever my ideas are, whatever my feelings, whatever my emotions, whatever my thoughts, they are right. And it's none of the it's not the business of the other person to make me correct, or to make me not follow my ideas and not follow my feelings. And overvaluing personal needs, you overvalue your needs, your personal needs, your feelings and rights over the other. For you, the other person's needs are nothing, the other person's feelings are nothing. You only value your own needs, your own feelings. Then exercising one's personal needs, rights, etc. Always you are exercising your personal needs. Very demanding. These type of persons are demanding. They demand from others. Yes, this is the thing. I'm going to do this. I want this, and I'm going to do this. They demand. They don't express, they just demand. Then being impolite, they are, when they are communicating their thoughts to others, they are impolite to others, and they are rude to others. They blame others for the negative happenings. Whatever wrong has happened, they blame others for that. And they, most of the time, they will keep on talking. They are not ready to listen to the other person's view, or other person's ideas, or other person's emotions. So they are always talking, and they are not listening. And even if when they pretend to be listening, they just pretend to be listening, they don't listen it very carefully. So effective listening is not there in this aggressive style of communication. So this passive and aggressive, both these styles of communication, they will lead to differences. They will lead to breaking of the bonds between the relationships, between the friendships, between your the members of your society, between the members of your family. Why? Because either you are valuing the other person, or you are valuing yourself. You are not taking the subject as a subject to debate. Now, the third type of style of communication is assertive communication, and this is the effective communication. And this you all should learn how to communicate assertively. Now, what is assertive communication? Assertive communication is that you are respectful to yourself as well as to others. See, nobody is wrong. There may be different opinions for one matter of different persons, and that is very, very normal, natural, because all of us cannot think on one line. We all are intellectuals, educated person, and we have different opinions. So one should respect the opinion of ourselves, yourself, as well as of others, because nobody is wrong, nobody is right. It is only the difference of opinion. We are different, we all are unique. Nobody is wrong, and nobody is right. It's not the question of being wrong or wrong right, or being defeated or being winner. No, It is about the ideas, the difference of opinion. So you should be respectful to oneself as well as to others. Second thing is that you should value appropriately the other person's needs as well. You value your personal needs, you value your desires, you value your feelings. But at the same time, you should value appropriately the needs, desires, and feeling of other person as well. Now, considering one's own self and as well as the other's interest. You consider your interest and you consider at the same time the other person's interest also while communicating. Be confident and polite. It's not that you should succumb to the other person's ideas or interest or feelings, but you should be polite. You should politely, you should firmly, even if you want to say no, you should say no firmly but politely. So being confident and polite. Then you have to listen also. Talking as well as listening, both are very very important. Both have a very important part to play in your communication, in your effective communication. Then expressing negative as well as positive feeling. You have to you have to see that whatever has been done in the past or whatever bad has happened, maybe because of my decisions. So you have to take the responsibility of your decisions. You don't have to play the blame game. Whatever has happened, you have to take the responsibility, because your behavior, your decisions, your future plans are your responsibility. And if anything goes wrong afterwards or anything goes good afterwards, it's all yours. So you have to take the responsibility. Being considerate as well as demanding. You are considerate as well as demanding. You are considering other person's views and feelings as well as you are demanding. Standing up for one's right. You have to stand up for your rights. You have to stand up for your ideas, for your feelings, but at the same time you should not dominate others. You should give equal importance to the other person's views and expressions and feelings. So this is how you can give respect and you can uh, communicate effectively. So now you have seen that how we can communicate effectively. Now we will take one example. Suppose you have secured good marks, very good marks, above 95 in your 10th standard, and you want to take arts because you have dreamt of some career, some job which you want to pursue, and that is possible with the humanities stream. But your parents and your teachers, they want you to take science because you're very bright academically, and they think that you should, or the academically bright student should always take science. Now, how will you communicate with your parents? See, I will give you all three examples. If you are communicating passively, you will go and tell them, Mommy and Papa, I want to take arts. They will say, No, beta, why you will take arts? You have got such good percentage in 10th, and you have a bright future ahead. You have to take science, because all good academically bright students, they always take science. And you will say, okay, yes, I will take science only because whatever you are saying is right for me, and I will take science. And then afterwards, when you have taken up the science and you are not liking the subject and you are not enjoying your studies, then you will regret, or even your parents will regret that why we forced him to take science. Now, second situation, aggressive communication. In aggressive communication, what will happen? Um, you will go and you will say, see, Mommy and Papa, I have decided to take arts because I think and I'm sure that arts is the best subject for me because I want to become IAS, and for that I need to take have this history and political science for my subjects. So I'm going to take humanities, and you will not even listen or not even bother about the feeling and thoughts and emotions of your parents. Your parents are your well wishers, your parents are your best friend, your mother, your father, they are your best friend. So they will not give you any suggestion which is bad for you. So you have to listen to them respectfully. You can convey your ideas, your thoughts, and feeling to them, but you have to give respect. You have to give a due consideration, a due time to listen to them and to understand their ideas, their values, and their thoughts while communicating with them. But if you are aggressively not listening to them, you are very demanding, and they might tell you, okay, whatever you feel like, you do that. And you may regret afterwards. And you will regret that why should I didn't listen to my parents. So this is aggressive. Okay. Now come to the third style of communication, which is assertive. You will go to your parents, you will tell them, see, mommy and papa, I have decided I want to take this. Not decided, I want to take this because you will keep your points. That because I want to become this, and for that, I think that this is going to help me, and I'm interested in pursuing my studies in this subject, and I have thoroughly researched about it. I know various people for in this job, and I from inside I have a feeling that I want to pursue this career only, and this is my interest. And then you will give the equal chance to your parents to speak out and understand and listen to them very carefully with open mind. See, effective communication is effective only when you have not decided what to do before speaking. Because many a times, whenever we are talking to our parents, or whenever we are talking to our friends, or whenever we are talking to our elders, we have decided that what we are going to do, and then we are just pretending that we are communicating. We ask them, we gave them this our ideas. No, so let it be an open situation. So you have put your ideas, your feeling, your emotions in front of them, and then give them also the equal chance to put their ideas, their views, because they might be having some good ideas for you for your future. So they will say, no beta, see, this has happened with that, because their experience is a lot about this future plans. So they are not going to give you bad ideas, or they are not going to give you ideas which are not good for you. So they will discuss with you, and then you have to, even if you don't if you even if after listening to them, even if you feel no, the ass is good for me, so then you can convey, no papa, I've understood your feeling, and I've understood your ideas, and I totally agree with them, but, and then you can put your points, but because of that, I have decided to this, and I don't think that any parent would not agree then. So the communication should be effective. Then only you can be able to two-way, it's a two-way communication. And then only you will be able to express your ideas, feelings, and thoughts to the other person. And you can receive their thoughts also, their ideas, their, maybe you will get some good. Maybe after listening to your parents, you decide, yes, I was wrong. Science is the better subject for me. So be open, be open. You, whatever, nobody is wrong. Be open whenever you are conveying anything to your friends, to your teachers, to your parents. Be open. And it's not, I'm not telling you that in spite of having desires, in spite of feeling the need, you should not no, not go to your decision, and you should not do what you feel like. You should, you should do what you feel like, but at the same time you should have effective communication with your elders, with your parents, with your teachers, with your friends, with your peer group, so that you will come to know about the various things of that matter, and then you can choose what is right and what is wrong. So don't go into that. There is nothing of generation gap. I don't feel in that. Your parents are your best friend. You have to adapt. You have to accept the things. You should not be orthodox, traditional in that whatever we think that is right and children are wrong. No, children are right, and the new generation is all the more very effective, all the more very responsible, all the more careful, all the more empathetic to the other persons. So it's not that they are wrong, or elders are wrong, or the youngers are young. There's no such kind of any generation gap. The differences, like you say, no, I don't like that person because his and my views are different. No, the differences are in the opinion. So by effective communication, you will come to the conclusion, yes, you are also right, I am also right, so let's do it this way. So, children, this is what I wanted to tell you. Please don't let generation gap or any differences come between you and your parents, you and elderly members of your family, you and your friends, you and your teachers. So, communicate effectively, and don't, your ideas, your expressions, your feelings have the greatest value. So pursue them, follow them, and have a better future. And wishing you all the best for your bright future. Communicate effectively. Thank you so much.